All righty. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's 7 p.m. on the East Coast, 4 p.m. on the West Coast, and whatever time it is over there on the other side of the pond. This is the Death Rattle Podcast. I'm your host, DJ Remark from Horror Sucks. With me, my co-host, Mr. Kanan Becker of Ghost Pirate Entertainment. What's up, buddy?
What is up? How you doing, man? You're out of town, right?
I'm doing great. I am out of town. I am currently in
the great. You can tell because you have better internet connection.
I actually have worse internet connection. If you can believe it, I have.
Well, you don't seem as choppy.
Really? Well, yeah. I don't know. I constantly right now have the little internet umbrella thing that's like not full. So that's where it is.
Yeah, but, dude. You're fucking brownies one, dude. Like you're good luck.
I know, we beat the brakes off of the Dolphins.
Yeah, I was like, "What is going on, dude?" And then I rememred, he's back home.
It's not gonna happen this Sunday. Though. It's not gonna happen. Huh? My week's great. So this is the week that so my best friend, he puts on he throws a big Halloween party. It's usually the weekend before Halloween, unless it can land on Halloween, but it can't do it. So it's the weekend before. And so I always come back home to Ohio from Florida to participate in the Night of All Nights, which is the name of that party. And so I'm just up here spending time with family and friends, having a good time. And cool. I'm here for the Rattlers. I made sure to make it for y'all, but I do have a hard out at 8:00. So that's it. But how was your weekend, or how's your week going before we get to our guest?
Hectic.
Yeah.
Just, same old, just trying to make as much content. I have a collaboration video that I've been working on with Cobweb's channel. It's going to come out like 2 or 3 days before Halloween. So I've been trying to work on that while also still making regular content. So it's been hectic trying to wear makeup, costume crap.
Nice, man. That was
all that
cool,
fun
man.
stuff. Yeah.
No,
it's cool.
Well, so we got another guest tonight. Do you want to introduce our guest?
Yes. So Josh Williams, I've known him for it's got to be close to 25 years now. Like we first met each other when we were in a band called Mahala, like way back in like 2000 to 2000. I don't know. He'd remember the dates better than I do, and then over the years we've just remained friends. He does all kinds of stuff, makes movies, music videos, edits, does music still. Like me and him have been talking about trying to get some music going again, and like he's just always making stuff. Like he's the only person besides myself that I know that is constantly making shit. Like he's never not working on something.
Hey, the grind never ends.
Yeah, but he's super talented, and me and him have a really exciting trip coming up, and so I figured it would be cool to have him on and talk to him about his project that like he could talk. We'll talk more about what the event is, but his movie that he worked on that we're going to be supporting out on the East Coast. And then he's just talk about his other projects and what else, whatever else he's got going on. Cause it's like me and you are both super interested in metal music as well as horror movies. And he does both. He does both. So
hell yeah.
He is a fun guest. So yeah. So
cool.
Josh,
let's bring him on. Mr. Josh Williams. What's up, buddy?
Hey everybody, thanks for having me on.
Man?
Good to see you. So let's talk about it. Let's just jump right in it. Who are you? How do you know Kanan? He mentioned it a little bit, and then what's this Infernal project?
All right. Well, I, like Kanan said, was just a guitar player back in like 1999. Put out some ads and found this guy and a bassist. Me and a drummer were already jamming. We called ourselves Mahala, and we went out and kicked some serious ass for a couple years. And, shit gets weird, and we all kind of go crazy in weird directions when you get pressure of like trying to get signed and all that. Moving on, I stayed in bands for a while, started producing music. And after recording bands, I had a friend that came in with a DSLR camera, and he did like a music video while we were recording in the studio. And I was pretty blown away that you could just have like your own little photography camera, but set it to HD and capture something that looks like a music video or a documentary. And I was like, I've got a Nikon. So I went downstairs and grabbed my Nikon D3100 piece of shit. And I'm allowed to cuss on here. Is that cool?
Yeah, man. Yeah, you're good. I think we're over 30 seconds.
Yep.
I went up and started filming things and then connected to my big screen TV and was just like, holy shit, this is the coolest thing ever. And
when was that? Like how long ago?
I want to say like around 2014. And so it started real small there. And I started doing like playthrough videos. So like a metal band would come into my studio and we'd finish tracking and I'd be like, hey, you want to go through the song doing like a drum playthrough, and then started posting those up. One of my big ones, my friend Gabe Sieber, he played with the Kennedy Vale and he tours with like Obscura and just a bunch of other really big bands. He's played us all over the place. He did like a Dimmu Borgir cover that got like hundreds of thousands of views. So that was a lot of fun to get going. But eventually I just said, I'd like to do a short film, and Sacramento had this 10x10 film festival, and you basically had to make a 10-minute or less short film in 10 days. And I just signed up, felt committed, started doing casting calls, and met a bunch of cool people, and we went out and filmed it mostly in like 3 days. And I had like 1 day to edit everything. And,
was that Human Herd?
That was Human Herd. Cool. And so that was the film title was inspired by a song that Kanan named from Mahala called Human Herd, and we used it in the soundtrack a little bit. But it was basically a horror film about a human trafficking, because apparently I learned back then, this was around 2017, that Sacramento is like a hotbed for human trafficking.
Yeah,
and
it still is, but it was crazy. That was like when it became like this widely known thing for the first time. Because like it still is, and it's crazy that it, because you would never think Sacramento would be so like entrenched in that, but for whatever reason, I forget why it is exactly. It's because it's kind of like a throughway, like to San Francisco or whatever, and into Reno and stuff. But yeah, it's still a really bad thing. But yeah, back then was when it first became like a big deal.
Is it on YouTube?
So Human Herd is actually on Amazon Prime. You can rent or buy it, but it is on YouTube as well. So you can watch it for free on YouTube.
It is? I didn't know it was on YouTube now.
Yep. And so the film ended up being, I had over like about 29 minutes worth of footage. So I actually tried to make like the long director's cut, even though I had to make a 10-minute version for the festival. I did like the 29-minute version. So it's out there on Amazon and YouTube. Basically, the whole thing was filmed with Blackmagic Ursa Mini Pro, which was like, I used all my tax return money to buy that thing. And I had one Aperture 300D light that ran off V-mount batteries. And so it was just me and one light, a couple friends, and we filmed that thing and put it out. And as soon as I got that on to Amazon, I was realizing like, wow, you can like upload your own films and start making money, like, $15 to $60. And it is like, I just need like 200 of these. So I just basically jumped right into that was my first film. Before that, I did one music video for a band called Big Water Beat, and it was called Outlaw. It was a Western. I probably have a hidden link for that somewhere. But I did Human Herd, and then my next project was literally a feature film that I did myself called, it was originally called 2025 Make America Purge Again, but we renamed it to 2025 Blood, White, and Blue, which got...
Was it Blood, White, and Blue when I reviewed it?
I think it was not the first time that you saw it, but I think when you reviewed it, it might have been.
I saw it before it was out. I come over to your house.
I think it got renamed when it was distributed. So like once it hit like Amazon and Tubi, it was the new name. But I think you might have reviewed it as
when I reviewed it.
One. But yeah, so basically once I got into my feature film, that got me into the world of predatory distributors. So I know all about predatory film distribution and how they screw you in contracts. And even though I've gone to arbitration and won, you still don't win. It's all a rigged system. But yeah, I'm that independent guy that's probably hurt like so many other people. But kept going on. I've done a TV pilot, a heavy metal comedy called Bring the Noise that's still kind of floating around. And then I got in contact with Eric Mathis, who's the director and writer for Infernal. and he had a perk for an executive producer, and I went and pitched some money to it on their Indiegogo, and he wrote me a personal email, and we got to know each other, and it turns out we're both metalheads, and he used to be a drummer and I'm a guitar player. So we just kind of clicked on there that we're into metal and film. And I was like, man, I just bought this this Arri Alexa camera. Too bad you didn't contact me sooner. I could help you film or something. And he's like, well, we haven't started yet. And he's like, do you want to come out to Vegas and be Howard Wexler's first AC and bring your camera? And so that's what I did. I drove out to Vegas and
AC. What does that mean?
Assistant camera, basically helping pull focus.
The audience doesn't know that, so
yeah. And so yeah, I was just helping Howard Wexler pull focus and set up the camera rig and everything, since I was familiar with the equipment. But yeah, we shot the film in like 5 days. We were out there for 6, and then
how long ago was this? When did you guys shoot it?
Oh shit, that 2024, like. Might have been late 2023.
Was it?
It's like that whole year is flown by now.
Yeah, I don't think it was last year. I thought it was the end of 2023.
It's possibly it was. Yeah, I think it was the end of 2023, and then we wrapped some of the stuff earlier this year. I think in May or June, we did the first screening for private for the cast and crew and stuff. But yeah, it was a cool experience. The movie's got a bunch of names you've probably heard of.
Yeah, but you're skipping over stuff.
Uh-oh.
You did a lot more than just the second camera. So, tell how like that worked out and what you ended up ultimately doing on the film.
Yeah, for sure. They originally had a guy editing and a team doing the VFX, but just some stuff fell through with that, and basically Eric needed someone to take over the editing. And since I was out there, it was my gear, and I was there during all the shoots and familiar with everything. I did pickup shots and stuff. I was just like, hey, probably would be one of the best guys to pull this in and take over the edit for you. So that's what I ended up doing. And did all the post-production from edit to color grading to sound. And like I said, more pickup shots for adding gore and just anything we could to make the film better, because capturing a film in 5 days while people are flying in and out just to get the film done was real tight. So, but yeah, and so that was pretty much, I have like maybe 6 or 7 different credits on that film, from music, which Mahala, I just told Kanan like last week that Mahala is actually in the soundtrack.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I want
to talk about Mahala for a little bit. I want to talk about Mahala for a little bit. So like,
let's finish with Infernal though. Let's finish, because
we'll get to Infernal. We got a whole show.
But like, you might as well finish what he was saying about the cast and who's in it.
Oh, all right.
Okay, that's fine.
I thought he made his point. My bad.
Let's circle back. We'll come back.
Yeah, we'll circle back.
Talk about Mahala.
We got a whole hour. We're good. We're good. So why Mahala? Mahala. Why the name? And then what genre were you guys?
It was you that came up with the name, right?
Yeah.
You and Salem, or was it you and Chris?
So
no. It would have been you and Salem, because Chris wasn't until later on.
My TV show actually covers like a little part of how bands try to come up with a band name, and they have all these different suggestions. Most of them are ridiculous, but we literally sat there, and the drummer was for some reason obsessed with like piercings on his cock, like Prince Albert's and Frenums and all this shit. He literally had a piercing of like a Frenum, which is like that ring with the 2 balls, like a bowls, kind of like what Kanan has in his piercing. But he had that literally,
but not in my dick, in my nose.
He had it on his dick, but he also drew it on his drum, the snare head.
Yeah.
And one of the first suggestions he had was like, what about Frenum? And I'm just like, fuck no, we're not naming the band after your dick piercing. And you know,
but it wasn't just the piercing thing. He was just obsessed with tribal stuff, like tribal dance, like tribal beats, like, because because that's why he took the snare off of his snare, like he took the clasp or whatever. What do you call it? The chain off of his snare.
Yeah, it's like the actual snare strap.
Yeah,
he just undid it so it has more of a bonk instead of that crack like a normal snare.
Which made us want to kill him, but at the same time, it also kind of gave us I don't know. Actually, keep talking. I'm gonna bring it.
So it was kind of like a Goldilocks scenario where like Salem, our drummer, had like the two sexualized. Kanan had one that was like Flesh Hook and a couple others, and they were like super gore because
Kanan actually band now that named Flesh Hook.
Huh?
There's a band now that uses that name.
Flesh Hook. Is there?
Yeah.
But yeah, so without being like too drastic in any direction, somehow I was like actually looking through like a Bible or something biblical, and it had these Hebrew names, and I think, and it may have even been tied to like the whole tribal thing, like tribes of Israel, or it was like trying to go way back or something, and not just be like current trends of tribal stuff. And I saw this word Mahala, and it said like sickness, a musical instrument, or like a company of dancers or something. But I was like, sickness, that's pretty cool. And so that's kind of where we went with it, was the sickness. And we even had a song that I think was called Sick or Sickness, and kind of referenced a little bit of that. But yeah, that's where the name Mahala came from. It meant sickness in Hebrew.
Isn't Mahala also like a greeting in Hawaii?
In Hawaiian, mahalo with an O at the end.
Yeah, we like never thought about at the time, and then everybody always thought we were saying mahalo.
That's all right. So what genre were you guys? You guys like death metal, or were you
Hold on, I'm gonna play it right now.
Okay.
I'm trying to. All right. Because there's like no official. I keep getting on Josh up to like get, because he's got the most of any of us like recordings still of stuff, and I keep wanting there to be like a central location where people could like listen to our stuff, because weirdly enough, there's still people that contact us all the time from like other countries and shit. They're like, dude, where can we get a recording?
I would say it was pretty much like modern thrash metal. We were all like into like Machine Head, Sepultura, Soulfly, Fear Factory, Slipknot, but it also had a bit of that new metal sound to it.
Is this
that's good.
Is that Salem? That was
that's the Salem version,
right?
Our first drummer,
That I like that riff. That's dope. And Kanan, that was you on the vocals?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, man. No, that's cool, guys.
Yeah, so I recorded that in I think 2000, right? Or was that 2001?
Like 2000. I think we might have like started jamming in like 1999, but we didn't play till like January of 2000, like our first live show. And then
so that would have been like
played till around 2002, 2003.
Yeah,
that would have been the beginning.
He says sounds like Sepultura. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, that's what we heard a lot. That we were, but this was like, it's funny because when we were doing that, Soulfly didn't exist yet, and like we started hearing a lot of people be like, "Oh, you guys sound like," and it was like there wasn't like Roots, like Sepultura Roots and things like that weren't really out yet. So it was like we were doing this, but we ended up hearing that a lot, and people thought we were, just trying to copy that, and we're like, well, we were kind of doing this before that was really a thing too. So.
I mean, I can straight up tell you, like, that song there was like a mix of like probably Machine Head. I only liked the first album, and then maybe like some of the third, but that had a lot of Machine Head and Fear Factory demanufacture influence. It may not come across like Fear Factory, but the syncopated guitar and drums was like Fear Factory inspired from like demanufacture album.
We picked up more Fear Factory kind of too as we went along, because like later on we were doing like Raise Your Eyes and
Strive.
Yeah, Strive. That was when we started, but that was also my favorite stuff we ever did. It sucks because it was like right at the very end,
and we had to get a new drummer, sadly, to play that stuff because and our first drummer was awesome, but the more technical we wanted to get in like speed and the double bass work, we had played with the kid at a coffee shop, and we were just kind of like blown away, and we're like, that's the guy we need, and that's the guy we got. And so
he was fucking, what was he, like 18?
Something like that.
He was literally a kid. We were all still really young, though. We didn't think of ourselves as that young, but because we were all in our early 20s. But he was literally a kid. Like, he was barely legal. I remember we'd go play these clubs and he couldn't even get in, like, all the time.
So go through the timeline again, then how you got into filmmaking from that. You just started making music videos for you guys, like you just started doing that and then taking that into short films.
Well, for our band,
almost way after
we spent so much money on like recordings. We go pay a few $1,000s just to do a few songs in a studio. And I had gotten in a car accident and gotten some insurance money. I was like, what if I just invested that in our own recording studio equipment? And then we tried to start doing a little bit of our own recordings at a certain point. But that's kind of where, for me, our band kind of
went down to what's his name's house, and we're recording our album. Like, we're going to record a full album. And so that was part of it too. We saw like how easy it was, like the first time really, like that's the thing that was so interesting about our band is things changed dramatically from when we first started to just a couple of years later. It was like MP3s. When we first started, nobody was, MP3s wasn't a thing. You were still recording, it was like all of a sudden MP3s were a thing. And then like quickly after that, it was digital recording. And it was just like this stuff was happening in just a matter of like a couple years. Bands were all of a sudden able to go from having to go to a studio and record on reels and all that to viably recording your own shit digitally out of your garage or wherever you had the stuff. So it's like people that aren't, like anybody that's younger doesn't, and it wasn't in music back then, it doesn't, but it's like even with video stuff with YouTube and all that, like from 2000 to like 2010, the entire world changed. It was like, we went from everything being analog to all of a sudden everything being digital in that 10-year span. And it was like also phones and like all that, like everything changed so much. Cause like when we first were playing, dude, we weren't like, I remember our cell phones that we had then, it was just like you weren't recording, you weren't taking pictures with your phone.
Yeah. At the time we recorded, your only options were like if you had a 4-track tape cassette recorder that you get from, any music store.
Which is how we would record our practices.
Which are our demos and practice writing songs and stuff. But then, you had to go to a studio where they had like a reel-to-reel. And when we recorded, it was like the first time where they were just getting into digital. So like Pro Tools almost didn't exist, and there was like Digital Performer, I think was the digital program that Puss Cavern used in Sacramento.
I thought they used Cakewalk.
We recorded the tape, and then when they would go to mixing, they would take the tracks and import it into the digital side, and then they'd mix it in digital. And so it was right on the cusp of that, where like a couple years after that was when the home producer market started turning up to where you didn't have to be rich to get a digital device that could record your music in multiple tracks. And I kind of got in a little bit early with recording because I had, the insurance money. But for about 10 to 15 years, I was recording like local bands that would come from like 4 hours away just to go and record a weekend with me to do some metal demos and stuff. Kanan's next band, Graven Image, recorded with me some stuff. And so yeah, for a while I just was kind of like done with the band world, but then doing some of the recording aspect. And like I said, I had a coworker that knew a band that wanted to do a demo, and so they came and record one song with me, and he did the little music video. And then that's where I got my first little bite of doing film stuff, because every other time I've had a camera that I've filmed something, whether it's like a child's birthday, our live videos when we play as a band, it was garbage. It's like, and I had no idea why. I just always assumed it was like either me or the camera, that you have to have a $1 million movie quality camera from a studio to do something. And then I would quickly learn later that it's all about lighting. It's like, if you have the best camera and you have shitty lighting, it's going to look like snow, like it did when we were, 20 at the boardwalk and someone's in the back corner in the dark.
all my shit with just my phone.
Yeah,
because like, I talk to people all the time. Like, you don't need
America's
to have a good camera.
Funniest
you need to have
videos,
good lighting.
you know, like that's what the typical person that picks up a camcorder. It looks like America's Funniest Video, and you never get above that until you actually learn about lighting and you know.
Well, and you're able to change the frame rate from 30 to 24, you know, stuff like that, and you know.
But also too, it was like just like I was talking about the transition from analog recordings to digital. The same thing was kind of happening with filming, because like when we were a band, we were filming our shows, and it was literally like it was just the mini
some of them were still the big full-size VHS tapes.
But I eventually spent the money and bought the camera that had the little, mini DVR or whatever, the little tape. Yeah. But even with those, you had to transfer that over to your VHS thing to fucking put it on. Like, that's the era we're talking about. And then it was like it felt like overnight. All of a sudden you were able to record digitally, and then you had it on your computer, and then we were able to burn it on to our own fucking DVDs and shit.
Yeah.
Like, all that stuff happened so fast.
And I think the cool part of that transition was like, when I realized that, you know, you can open up doors with like a DSLR to start doing films. I've been like a movie guy my whole life. I've always loved, you know, Star Wars and Goonies and Raiders of the Lost Ark and, you know, a bunch of horror movies. I could have been like the best Blockbuster video employee, because I knew like every film and every actor back then to a certain point. But I never would have imagined that like being in the movie industry is something I could do. It's just, I don't know anybody. I don't know anyone that's an actor. I don't know anyone that is a camera guy, nothing. And so it was never something that occurred to me would ever be a door that could open for me. But like I said, having that friend that brought that DSLR over, once I started kind of researching it, I started to learn like what films were made with those kind of cameras. And one of the films that really got me into filmmaking was Turbo Kid and the RKSS group. And when I learned that the ABCs of Death version of T is for Turbo was done on like a Canon Mark III, and then they got people to notice it and got funding to make the feature film. And then obviously they rented an Arri Alexa and nice zoom lens from, you know, just basically had the budget of like 60 grand to start doing some other things. I was like, well, you can start with a DSLR because these guys did it, and then look where they went. And so that's what told me that this is possible. Like, for the average person, you can like take a regular camera, make something cool, and then, you know, it might turn into something.
Yeah, that's a lot of the similar story to like what Chris Stuckman,
Mike Flanagan
came out.
Mike Flanagan shot Absentia. Mike Flanagan shot Absentia on a Canon 5D. So if you ever watched Absentia, which is a great film, Mike Flanagan's first.
But the only problem with that movie is it kind of looks like shit.
Well, it's a Canon 5D.
I'm just saying.
And I think it looks fine. I think the writing and the direction are what carry the film. Like, Mike Flanagan carries that film. It doesn't matter what the camera is.
The only issue with it is that it just doesn't look great.
I would rather watch a movie that's well written and well acted and shot on a.
It just depends on what you're trying to do.
Yeah, well,
because and like you don't even have to, like, that's the thing. That's what's crazy about right now, is there's people out there making movies with their fucking phones, dude, with their iPhones. Like, you don't. It's all about story and all about, you know, like creativity and things like that. Like, you can. They're literally now, we're at a point now, like we were talking about that span of time, but we're at a point now where there is nothing that's in your way of making whatever. If you want to make music, if you want to make a movie, like whatever it is, there's nothing. If you're a young person right now, there is nothing that's stopping you from making whatever you want to make. Like, you just have to start making shit. That's what I tell everybody that talks to me all the time about wanting to start a YouTube channel. I'm like, you just got to start making stuff, dude. Like, it takes time. And so, like, the best thing is to just start doing it. It's like you were talking about with making movies. You know, you saw that guy using a camera, and so you just started making shit. And so it takes time, no matter. And so it's like pointless to, you know, feel like you got to have this technology, or you got to go to this schooling, or you got to do this to do the thing you want to do. When it's like, in reality, the thing you want to do, it comes down to just learning how to do it. And so like the best way to learn anything is to just start doing it.
Well, so then let's get into Infernal now.
Yeah, do you want to pull up the IMDb for it?
Yeah, I can. Is there a trailer for this at all?
There is one on YouTube, but it's the trailer they used for the funding campaign for Indiegogo. So it was done by the previous editor with like the limited footage they had at the time, while they were still trying to raise funds for post-production. But
what's going on with an updated trailer?
This has fucking.
It's in the works.
Wait, this has.
Yeah, that's what he was kind of.
So you want to talk about who's in the movie?
Yeah.
This guy just died.
Yep. Yes. So that's what we were trying to say.
Right. So Infernal, it's it's a group of friends that are heavy metal fans. They end up getting a hold of the same record from Deathgasm. That it's like that he's got Jason Howden's approval for like this parallel universe connection of the album. Basically, nice. they summon the devil.
The sequel.
They summon the devil, and they unknowingly lose their souls and have to go on a quest to redeem them. And it's basically the three friends starring Sky Elabar from Greasy Strangler and Candy Corn, Jonathan Lee Charles, and then we had recently lost Steve Bridges. He was the third friend starring in the film.
Yeah,
and he was a TikTok comedian. He had millions of followers on TikTok and Instagram.
I was
and
one
YouTube.
of them. Yeah, I follow this dude. This dude is fucking hilarious.
Yeah, so it was a real hard blow, especially because we were hoping to see him up at the Smod Castle Festival coming up on November 1st to be there with us. So completely devastating for all of us. He was married for 16 years. He has
that's awesome.
Three kids, and he's it's a tremendous loss.
Yes. DJ's
but yeah, this is there's a lot of fun in this film. It's got Courtney Gains. If you don't know Courtney,
but hold on, there is a fundraiser for his family, right?
Yeah, there is a fundraiser,
Kickstarter or a GoFundMe, or
I think it's a GoFundMe. It's if you go to TikTok and look up Steve Bridges, you'll probably find the GoFundMe link posted on one of the updates.
I've been seeing it all over Facebook and stuff. So.
And if anybody was able to help donate, I mean, they weren't a rich family or anything. He was fortunate to do what he does as a job, but they still were blue collar like everyone else, and this is going to be a hard blow to his family. So if anybody is able to pitch $1, I mean, imagine 2 million TikTok followers and they all pitched $1, that would be amazing. Yeah. But even if it looks like they have a lot of money raised right now, I mean, he's gone forever, and those kids are growing up and have a life ahead. It'll help them get by for like a year, and then
that's why I wanted to mention that, because
it'd be tremendous help for anybody, whether it's just sharing it or if they can pitch $1 or $20, would be amazing.
Yeah. Okay, back to the movie.
Yeah. So there's a bunch of fun cast in this. We got Courtney Gains from Children of the Corn and Back to the Future and all kinds of cool movies. Sky Elabar, he's coming out in Ebony and Ivory that just came out on Amazon. He was in the Greasy Strangler, Candy Corn. It's got Pancho Moler in it. He's in a bunch of Rob Zombie movies and also in Candy Corn. Cool. Mark Torgul, the original Toxic Avenger, does a cameo as a record store owner. There's just a whole lot of fun in this movie.
Who did the effects?
The effects like you see on the screen here was Joe Castro. He's done some amazing work in horror films. So anything you see that's practical is going to be Joe, and anything else is probably some VFX that I had to muster up. But yeah, it's a great film if you like a mix of comedy and horror. It's gory, it's funny. There's probably dick and fart jokes, but at the same time, it does go into some terrifying images. So it's just a well-rounded, fun story.
Yeah. So the reason I wanted to have Josh on this week is because next week on Halloween, me and him are flying out to New York because Infernal was accepted into the Smodge Castle. Did I say that right?
Smodge Castle.
Smodge Castle Film Festival, which is Kevin Smith's horror film festival that he puts on. It's like more than once a year.
I think he's done 3 or 4 film festivals, and then this is his first horror film festival that's going to be annual.
Okay.
So
because I know I saw one that was like, because I saw one, and that's why I was confused, because I saw a film festival that was like earlier this year, and I was like, so does he do it more than once a year? But I guess that must be what it is. It's like he puts on one that's like for comedies, whatever, and then this one is horror.
Yep.
Either way, it's mine and your first time going to New York, so
yeah,
we're both like super fucking excited.
Yep, I think there's going to be a good day of all horror. There's a mix of short films and feature films. If anybody is in the New Jersey or New York area and you want to travel over, it's only like $5 to get into one block of films. It's $20, I think, for the whole day pass, and they're doing all day Saturday.
And you can
films.
Come meet us.
Yeah.
So what was the budget on this film? Can you say? What were you guys working with?
It's basically what they raised. It was somewhere in the neighborhood of like 70 to 80,000.
All right, right on.
But he's got a new project, right? And you're going to be working with him on that one too. Like that, there's not any official information out about it.
Yeah,
yet,
he's got another movie called Rougarou. So it's like a New Orleans legend of a werewolf. And that
I didn't know if this was official, so I didn't want to say.
Yeah, I mean,
but I'm excited about this.
But yeah, it is going to happen, and it's supposed to be a much bigger budget and some very big names involved in the effects department and things like that. But that's about all I know. I could say.
Yeah, that's why I didn't want to start talking, because I don't know what all is officially, like, should be talked about yet. But
talk
just
about
a movie about a Rougarou, that's dope as fuck, dude.
Yeah, well, talk about what you did on Infernal, though. Since we're talking about that, what did you do on Infernal? What was your role in this movie?
What did he not do?
Yeah. No, so yeah, basically once the edit had to be taken over, I pretty much had to start from scratch, just basically take the film. I had all the footage already just because it was shot on my media cartridges. So as soon as I got everything from the VFX that Joe Castro had started on, I basically just had to start from scratch. And
how many hours of footage?
Well, here's the thing. We kind of had the cart put before the horse. They had already scheduled a screening, so I had like a month and a half of time to edit and finish everything.
Damn.
So I just pretty much lived, eat, breathe Infernal for that period of time. Luckily, I worked from home, so I didn't have after work, I didn't have to commute and waste hours to get back and start editing again. I was always around to be able to multitask or something if I needed. But so the edit and again, I had to reshoot some things. Like, we were so swamped into the original shooting, and you've got people flying from out of town to come and do their scene, and then they got to get out again, and we forgot. Well, I'm not gonna say we, but the camera department didn't have an opportunity at the time to shoot establishing shots, like the front of a house or the front of a record store. So by the time we had all the media and the footage collected, I'm like, man, we need some stuff. So I just drove back out to Vegas and met Eric, and we got that stuff. Tried to get some drone shots there, but they don't allow it with all the airports close by. But we used other parts of around San Francisco and Sacramento, and then just once I got into the edit, I was constantly working on visual effects anytime I could too. We wanted to have things like when his friends are killed and they're brought back as zombies, and then they have to follow him around in the world looking as if they're dead, as opposed like real life, but not spirits. So they had to be real life dead people walking around, visible to everyone else. And so there were times where Eric wanted a guy's jaw to be ripped out and fall on the ground. Well, we didn't have shots of that. So I used local filmmakers, like Jennifer from Moonjack Creations. She's out in Redding and Yuba City area. She made a jaw mold that I could use to be Sky Elabar's jaw, and I just bloodied it up and threw it on the ground, you know, for a shot to show that it fell out of his jaw, and then he puts it back on. Creative things like that to fill in those gaps. And basically, once we got the edits going, I've done color grading for a number of films, just, you know, hired to do that alone. So you know, I was kind of color grading as I went, just because I don't like looking at raw footage, and sometimes you got to see if you know, if a certain shot you chose works the way it is when it's colored versus maybe different lighting or something on a different take. But
before you get too deep into it.
And so I try to kind of do some of that as I'm going, and then I get into
you've done commercials and like music videos besides the short film and your own movie. You've also done like a whole bunch of small like other things, so like it's not like you're not experienced. Like you've done a bunch of shit. Like I don't know if you didn't kind of let people know how much you've actually done.
To do different aspects, like, oh, we need someone to do sound design, or, you know, just the music side, or just all the post sound. Sometimes I've just gone out and done drone shots. You know, it's just I literally made myself capable of making an entire movie without anyone else's help other than actors. So that's kind of where I started, and where.
Well, yeah, because when you did 2025, like it's insane, dude. You like.
I remember when you were making that movie, list yourself so many times on credits.
You did so many things for that. You literally did everything with that movie.
You don't want to have a feature film that has like 5 credits and then it just scrolls right past. But at the same time, it's like horrific to see your name posted 30 times for like the actual 30 things you did or something. So I'm like trying to space names in between mine. Like even adding the animals that were featured or something in my, like my sheep or my goats or something on my property, like just to like fill in a name in between something. So yeah. But yeah,
right on, man.
It was a full package for Infernal. So I worked with a bunch of artists. It was actually a lot of fun. I met a guy named Johnny Burnett from Between Realms. It's a band in Sacramento, and he offered to help bring a bunch of his music into the soundtrack. It's in the opening, it's in the credits at the end. Very cool stuff. We brought Brandon Ellis from Black Dahlia Murder at the time. He does the solo when the devil comes out of the ground into the kitchen, and he plays a ripping guitar solo on Gary Holt's ESP Les Paul.
Yeah, we're hoping
wrote the whole solo just for the movie.
We're hoping he comes out to the
hopefully
to the
he might
film festival. Yeah,
he's supposed to be showing up to the premiere because he lives in Jersey, so that will be fun if he gets to make it. But yeah, there's just a lot of other aspects from previous connections and things that was able to help bring into the movie to help get the sound and music department all filled in. I love doing the Foley. So like if there's a head being pulled out of an ass or somebody throwing up, you know, I just try to like imagine like putting water in my mouth and choking myself and gargling, and, you know, anything you can do. It's so much fun to do Foley, and the more disgusting, the more fun it is.
Yeah. So. Any tricks, any Foley tricks you have that you had to use? You're like, damn, how do I get this sound? Like what do I have to do for this? Anything you like? Any creative ways that you thought of making some stuff up?
Yeah, like vomiting. I like to gross people out with all the gag reflex sounds anyway. But when you have like your wife take a bucket full of water and like pour it into a toilet as you're doing that, you get a perfect vomit sound.
Nice.
But yeah,
it's funny what good Foley could do in a movie, or just audio sound in general in a movie. Yeah. Like if you ever watch a movie like without sound and then with the sound, like it's crazy how much, especially for horror and like genre type of films, like it's crazy how much it does. Yep.
Yeah. All righty. Well, do we want to get some chats?
Yeah, definitely. I'm sure they have some questions.
Not very active in the chat today.
Well, we've been just basically talking. We haven't.
Yeah, I gotta
involving them.
I gotta scroll back a little bit. Let me see here.
I was talking to
B-Movie Theater says, I'm sick with the cold, but here, so get well, B-Movie Theater. It's going around. It's that time again. It is that time. Live Wire, good to see you. Let me see here. Everyone's saying hi to Josh at some point. Where it is? Where is it? There it is. Diddy says, hey, Josh. Saya says, hey, Josh. Everybody's liking the music. Let me see here. See if there's any questions in here. I don't think so. Smiley says, I'm watching Human Herd right now.
Nice.
So,
hell yeah.
That's good.
I don't know if I ever saw the full half-hour one. I thought I saw the short, or like the shorter one.
Al thinks I have a great haircut. Thank you, Al. I appreciate it. Grimehouse Film says Josh rocked it. He's a GD rock star.
That's Eric Mathis, the director.
All righty.
Oh, nice. Okay. What's up, dude? Looking forward to meeting you.
Darren says cock rock because the guy's talking about your how you're trying to, your drummer tried to name your band. Saya says, isn't there a band called Mahala that became big recently and they always wear those funky masks? One of their albums is called Glass Beams. Am I dreaming this? You guys know anything about another band called Mahala?
Nope.
I just know, like, in the last 5 years, everyone's going to our Facebook page from like Africa, and they're like adding us and stuff, and I don't know if they think we're like some other person there, or I don't know.
Yeah, if there's a band, they spell it different, because still, when you write Mahala, the only thing that comes up still is us. As far as
Bryce says, if Kanan didn't end every set by screaming "music can be fun," I'm upset.
Now let's get to the list.
Yeah, Al says,
like everything's all about organic, man. Shit happens organically, and plus that was a lifetime ago, man. Like I was so much different then, like personality wise, to like who I am now.
John says, wow, Kanan, what training did you do to save your sweet voice?
I didn't do any. I just shredded my voice. That was really unhealthy. Dude, this is like, I'm telling you guys, like the world is so much different. Like I watch Will Ramos talking about all the different things he does now. I'm like, dude, holy shit, dude. Like we didn't know any of this stuff. We didn't know any of these techniques. We didn't know any of these ways you can, like me and Josh have been talking about doing music again, like writing some stuff. And we've been talking about vocal styles and stuff. And it's like, even the way I sang, like you don't need to sing as forceful. Like, yes, I did, but it was like nobody, you just kind of did whatever. You made sounds and however you got, there wasn't like there was people you could go to and be like, how are you doing that? There wasn't
Mag
YouTube.
Says, any stream, when will it be out?
Yeah, what's going on with it?
Infernal, yeah, we're finishing up the festival run. You just never know what can come out of a festival if someone's interested in offering distribution or something.
Yeah, because there's no distribution yet for it, right?
Right. So they're exhausting all those possibilities before they try to settle on some sort of either, again, we're trying to watch out for those predators, but if they have to go with the company, they're just going to have to craft that out carefully or maybe do something themselves. There's a couple avenues to where you can get some of it out there. Otherwise, there's like Film Hub and things like that.
Well, yeah. I think the great thing about today that distributors are really having to fight with is that self-distribution is getting easier and easier. I mean, there's a lot of platforms out there that you can put your movie on to have it seen by a lot of people. And it's really about your marketing, just how well you market your stuff.
Completely about the marketing.
And it'll get seen. And you
have Curry Barker, who put his movie on YouTube, on his own YouTube channel, and it's gotten over 1 million views. You can't get a distributor to do that. Distributors, most of the time, they don't do jack shit. They just kind of drop it somewhere. Like,
yep,
yeah,
if it gets views, it's kind of like publishing. It's the same kind of thing. Like I know a lot of published authors, and it's like a lot of people think you get it, publishing deal, they're going to promote your book and whatever. No, not really. They're going to make it available if someone wants to buy it. That's about it. And it's like, it's still on you to promote it. So it's like, if you got to promote it anyway, you might as well self-publish it or what a distributor or whatever. So that's also why you do film festivals and things like that, because you're not just simply trying to get someone to put it out. You're trying to get someone that's going to actually put it out, meaning they're going to put some promoting behind it and get it into legit places and things like that. So,
and I think some of the distributors are even purposefully sabotaging the films by tanking it. They can say that your film is not doing well, and that's why your film's not making money. And in reality, they're hiding the money that's being made, and they do other creative things like they use one of their other LLCs to bill themselves for services, and then they pay themselves for that service, which looks like a debt to your film. But they paid themselves. So they use your earnings to pay themselves, but still telling you that you have a debt. And then they say, well, look, you got these bad reviews. It's not making money. You're actually in debt to us. And then you basically give up.
There's a shitload of scam stuff behind it. That's why it's better if you can't get like a somewhat trackable known distributor, then just don't do it. And I'm not saying you don't go with an indie. You can go. There's lots of indie distributors that are credible. But look at the track record, look what they've done, look what they're doing, look at what are they going to actually do with your movie.
And that's also scary though. That's also scary because I thought I did my due diligence by researching, and I ended up contacting other filmmakers, which turn out are their friends too. Yep. And so they're telling me, oh, it's all good. Congratulations. You must be doing something right. And it turns out they're all in on it as well.
Yeah. So. But I mean,
did you happen to put in
movie? I don't mean talking to filmmakers. I'm talking about but we live and learn, but that's why film festivals are so important. Even if your movie is not playing in film festivals, go to a film festival. The amount of stuff that I learned just from going to Fantastic Fest, it's insane. Just talking to legit filmmakers that are fairly big names, but that are easy to talk to. You could there's not these barriers, and you find out quickly, don't trust this company, don't trust that company. You know what I mean? You can make a living without having to make a giant movie. You can make the Addams Family. They make a living making movies, and their movies are tiny budget movies, that don't have these huge distributions, but because they know who to work with and they work with reputable companies they're safe, they're getting a good amount back from they're not having to spend more to put the movie out than they're making. And, it's a fair deal going on and things like that. But it takes time and knowing the people in the industry. And, it's just everybody's in a hurry. And I get it, because a lot of times you're indebted to people like DJ with the Hellgate, and it's you have these people that either, it could be even just a GoFundMe. I know Chris Stuckman was in that situation where he had raised all this fucking money. And so then he feels indebted to these people to get this movie out. But then luckily he got the right advice. He ended up getting a Mike Flanagan who he could lean on to give him the right, good information to go with. And so he waited to put that movie out. And then ultimately, now it's actually getting a full theatrical release and all this. Whereas, a couple of years ago, he was tempted and on the verge of just dropping it onto a fucking Prime Tubi and maybe not making anything from it. It's one of those things. You got to be patient sometimes with your art and it takes some time.
One of the best ways as an indie filmmaker, what you can do to really find out if a distributor is going to be predatory or not is during the contract negotiations, just put in there that you want a line item, that you want a line in the contract saying that you're allowed to audit their books. With an auditor of your that you pay for it, your expense, that they have
but a third party audit.
At least once a year, you're allowed to hire a third party auditor to go in and see their books. And if they say no to that, then you say no to any contract and you go call somebody else. Because any reputable distributor is going to be like, yeah, sure, whatever. We have nothing to hide. We know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Or we know what we're doing. So any distributor that's like, well, no, or we have to approve that. We have to approve the third party. It's like, nope, I will.
No.
But there's so many
that's the one thing that you can do that's really going to separate
so many tricky things too, though, because like with one of Josh's movies, they like cut his movie into little pieces and basically uploaded that on YouTube. And unless someone had kind of like let him know, hey, what the fuck, Josh would have never even really known. And these motherfuckers were literally making money off of his movie.
Yeah.
Like piece by piece. And like, there's shady stuff like that, especially when it comes to other countries, that's a big one right now, is they'll take your movie, they'll put it on YouTube fucking Brazil or YouTube Japan. You don't know. You don't have access to YouTube Japan. So how the fuck would you know that your movie is playing in YouTube? And
that brings us to our sponsor for this show, ExpressVPN. If you want to see where your movie's being played, just turn on ExpressVPN, set it to Japan. Go to YouTube.
VPNs are tricky, man. Like
they are. And they're not a sponsor. They're not a sponsor.
No, I've worked with a couple, and like the VPNs are a cool thing. Like I am for.
They're great. I love them.
VPNs, but it's just like it's hard to know even how to use them, because like my friend, his movie 13 Days Till Summer is only on Netflix in Poland, and it's like if you have a VPN, there should be a way to use your VPN and watch it on the Netflix in Poland. But even that, it's like kind of tricky, like how that even legally works. And if you're doing that, it makes me wonder who, not for you, the viewer, but for the filmmaker, like how does that all work?
Yeah. Well, and look, I gotta get out of here, guys. Are you guys gonna stay on?
Probably for a few more minutes.
Want to stay on a chat? All right, I gotta get out of here. Josh, it was awesome talking to you. I'm looking forward to seeing Infernal. It was a great time. Thanks for coming on. Chat, it was good to see you guys. But
we'll have to do this like once Infernal's out.
Yeah, we'll do it again. We'll bring it back on. Yeah. We'll bring on some other people from Infernal. If the director wants to come on, that'd be cool. We'll talk to anybody. Cool. We'll promote you guys. But I'm out of here. Take it easy, guys. Love you.
Sure.
See you next Wednesday, same time, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. on the West Coast. I'm out of here.
Later. Yeah.
Go away.
Yeah. To summarize contracts, I would say anybody that's ever going to make a film contract, it should say filmmaker makes this, distributor makes that, and if anything in between doesn't go right, eat a bag of dicks.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep. You got to be able to have an out, like a buyout type of deal where, you get your rights of your movie completely back if things, not just a buyout, but like if any breach of contracts, or because that was one of the issues with yours, and you ended up having to take them to court and fight them in court to just basically get your movie back. It wasn't even a matter of you getting the money, because you didn't really you really didn't ever recoup the money that you were in for it. But
yeah, they owe me money. They owe me everything. And again, even the legal side, they force you into arbitration, and the whole arbitration is all set up for them. It's all their friends. It's all people in the industry. It's all corrupt. So
that's why I think if you're going to make a movie right now, you should be planning on self-distributing, period. You know what I mean? Make a movie that you're going to self-distribute. And then if the movie comes out and it's at a certain level and you're able to get it into film festivals and like you start to get some buzz and some credible things start to happen, cool. But don't make a movie that you're so underwater that you're forced into having to try to find distribution and or more financing, or you know what I mean? Like don't bite off more than you can chew. It's not just with a movie. It's like with anything. If you're going to put out an album, if you're going to fucking have a YouTube channel, like there's all these YouTubers that, they spend more to make an episode than they could possibly make back from their YouTube channel. And so then they end up having to sign a deal with one of these, I forget what they're called, but like these third-party agencies basically. And it's like, dude, just make fucking videos that you can afford to put out to where you're making money from making them. Like don't start out underwater from the start. You know, if you're Mr. Beast and you can afford to spend $1 million to make each episode of your YouTube channel, well, then that's fine. Spend $1 million because you're making 5 million an episode. But like, you know, if you're, no matter what you're doing, if you're having to take out like crazy amounts of loans and all this stuff and get beg, borrow, and steal and all this stuff, like, just be careful. Like, instead, try to make something that you can actually afford first. Because like we've talked about this a bunch. Like, you can make, you know, found footage stuff. You can make stuff with friends. You know, you can make these tiny little things to at least get you started. It's like I say all the time, you should be making, if you're new into all of this, you should be making like tiny shorts. Just make a fucking shitload of shorts, like small little movies to get you experience and kind of get your name out there and learning, meeting the right people and all this stuff. Like, I get the idea of wanting to make a full movie, but there's so many moving parts with that, not just making the movie, but even after it's done. So
and it's dangerous too, because like that doesn't even get into like investors. Like, you know, you mentioned DJ had an investor, but like I know so many people from the groups that have been affected by the predators that like some of them are just investors. They're like, I want my money back. They gave like 30 grand, you know, and that's just part of it. There's hundreds of thousands of dollars. There's some of these movies have $1 million tied into them.
That's what I'm talking about. Like, you want to make your movie, and then it's kind of like back in the day. I remember hearing stories about Deftones and Korn, and how, like, I know for Korn, it was their third album. I think it took all the way until their third album before they finally actually made any money. Like, they owed their first basically 3, and they were making, like, they had their first album was gold and their second album was platinum, and they still owed the label money.
Oh, dude, it's like that in every industry, and I've quickly learned that. It's like at every level in every industry, there's a predator waiting to take advantage of you. And whether you're signing a publishing deal for your book, a record deal for your band, or a distribution deal for your movie, every industry has these like gatekeepers of like looking for those independent artists or the unknowing, naive ones that'll just sign that deal where you're giving everything away, even if they like sprinkle it to look great, but there's like hidden language in there that's like unencompassing, and you know, just it's ridiculous the levels they go to rip you off, and I've seen it everywhere.
Even like sponsors with YouTube, like what I do, like I just signed with this company to handle all my sponsors, and like luckily I'm really happy with the deal, and I'm really happy with the company, but there's a different smell on a scammer versus someone who's actually above board. And if you're just patient and not wanting, and don't just go jumping into everything, you could tell the difference. But it's like a lot of times we're just like get so excited. It's like, oh, this is, you know, this opportunity, this is cool. Like, I'm finally making a movie, or I'm finally a credible YouTuber that has sponsors wanting to work with me. So sure, I'll do whatever, you know, but instead, luckily I'm in a situation and older, I was able to be patient with it. But like, and like the company that, dude, it's so easy. There isn't any weird writing. There isn't any weird, like, to get my pay, I don't have to like jump through hoops and do all these weird things to, you know, like I've heard stories of sponsor deals where you got to like get paid from crypto and bullshit. And it's like, how does that not smell bad to you? Like, come on, man. You know, whereas like with the company I work, this fucking patch, I'm trying to get it broken in because this is my newer one. And so it like keeps wanting to write up, and then it keeps digging into the bottom of my eye. Anyway, but like with the sponsored company I'm working with now, it's like, oh, you finished the job, within minutes, there's your money in your bank account. That's it. Like, there's no like weird having to go to this website and like wait 30 days and like, and I've worked with other sponsor brokers and stuff, and like, dude, a lot of times it's a nightmare. It's like they don't tell you up front all the bullshit you're gonna have to do for that sponsor deal, and so you're like, oh, this seems cool. And then you sign the deal, and then they're like, you got to do all this shit. And you're like, fuck, I signed a contract. Like I have to do this now. And you find out it's a nightmare. Like I've spent weeks and weeks working on one stupid sponsor that I absolutely hated, that I ended up not really making any money from, because I didn't know any better. Luckily, I have never gotten too screwed over in it. But the point is like, I learned at being patient, it should be easy. You know what I mean? When things are right, they kind of tend to like doors open instead of having to always kick every door. When you're constantly having to fight for everything, sometimes that is a red flag, and you should, be aware of that. What is this? Kevin Smith knows this stuff all too well. I don't know who that is, but yep. I mean, that's the cool thing about Kevin Smith is he's one of the pioneers of kind of doing things super grassroots, really, really indie style, which is why I think it's so cool that he's doing these film festivals, because it's like, like we need people out there being champions for independent artists.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, just look at how productive we would be if like everything was done right and fairly. More people would be making more money and making more films, getting better at it. You're getting better films, more content out there. But instead, there's like the greed element, and even things that are really good never get the light of day, or they just don't get to be like, hey, that film was okay, but my next one would have been even better, because you learn from it and you go out and shoot better, you direct better, you get a better edit, and your next film could have slayed the previous one, but someone's already derailed you over.
Yep.
Greed.
It makes me wonder like how much we've missed, like how much amazing art or artists that we never even heard of, or art that never got made. Because I mean, like, especially like back in the analog world, like back when if you were a band, you had no choice. You had to sign with a record label. And if you didn't get a record deal, you weren't putting out albums. Or if you wanted to make a movie, you had to work with, one of the big publishing houses or whatever, now at least there is the option of doing things yourself, or at the very least working with, these small independent companies and stuff. But like, we probably lost a dozen Steven Spielbergs, from bullshit, scammers and like people never getting opportunities. So,
I mean, especially like these situations where I dealt with mine like during the pandemic. So talk about being super depressed, being ripped off by someone during the pandemic when you're like stuck at home and all that. But yeah, I'm sure that's happened to a lot of people.
It makes you wonder, like I'm sure there were people that ended up just completely quitting and not even trying to continue to make things,
or just ending their life.
In 2020. I mean, like I almost did.
Yeah.
Like I was super, super close to, doing something. Like that was the worst year of my life. Luckily I had, some family and friends and stuff that helped me get through it, but there was a lot of people that were in a really dark place. And so it's like, that's what drives me the most crazy about predators of any kind. Like it isn't just financial predators, but like, you could be a predator where you're, like I watched the movie Corpse Bride last night, and there's the bride, right? The dead bride. And you find out at the end that piece of shit basically killed her to steal her dowry, her, money from her family or whatever. And it's like, there's predators like that, like not necessarily killing the woman, but like preying on their girlfriends, or, like you hear, there was tons of stories like that during 2020 where there would be couples that were like locked up together, and you had, one of them being super abusive and, there's lots of different kinds of predators. So just gotta, like I said, look for the smell. If something doesn't smell right, doesn't matter what it is, any relationship of any kind, like if it doesn't smell right.
So you watched Corpse Bride last night, and I was watching Black Phone 2.
Oh, did you go see it?
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, I saw it. I've seen it twice now. What did you think?
I liked it overall. And maybe it's just me, but lately I have this thing where like slow burn movies kind of get at me a little bit. Like I feel like there's just so much more like in like the second half of the movie. Like if we just sped it up just a little bit to get into there was so much cool stuff in there. And so it's not,
it's just
not that there's not a place for that. I keep hearing about movies that are kind of slow like that.
I keep hearing so many people saying that, and like, I never thought of that movie as a slow burn. And it wasn't until now that it's got a wide release and I'm hearing lots of people talking about it and stuff. And I'm like, fuck, dude, I just did not think it was slow burn. Like, yes, it takes, the first probably 30 minutes or so to like build the story and whatever, but like, I don't know. It just didn't feel super slow to me. Not any more than that first movie. I think if anything, this one is less slow than that first one.
Because I looked at the runtime.
Some shit happens. Nothing happens in that first movie.
I looked at the runtime because I was like, is this movie over 2 hours? And then I looked and it was like 158 or something. I was like, well, it still felt like about 20 minutes. I don't know how you would do it, but like, because there's good stuff in there, but I just felt like it needed to kind of get to like bringing him in a little sooner, but I don't know. Like, I don't think you go through like a Freddy Krueger movie where you don't see him till like the last half or something. It's like, it's usually within 15, 20 minutes, boom, there's a dream and he's doing some shit. But
it's something that I'm always thinking about is how like the amount of information that we have taken in as viewers of art now is also a detriment, I think, in a lot of ways.
Yeah. It's those dopamine hits. Give it to me.
Because like you just mentioned Nightmare on Elm Street. No one's ever talked about Nightmare on Elm Street as a slow burn. But dude, nothing happens for a huge amount of that movie, and you don't even see Freddy at all until late, and that's not even a rare thing. I mean, you have like look at Friday the 13th, where you never see a killer until the end, and it's just some old lady.
Yeah.
Like we just, a lot of these movies would never even exist. If we were in this, and like, but I don't know how you, I don't know how you prevent from being that way. Like it doesn't, we've seen this.
I have forgiveness for it because it's kind of like setting up the prequel aspect, even though it's in the current time, it's setting up what led to everything. So I give it that grace that it's, it's got to build up that anyway for the backstory. Whereas like, by the time you get to one of the other Nightmare on Elm Street movies, like 2, 3, or 4, we already know Freddy. It's just like, when does he come and start slaying everybody? If they had to build it up again, then you'd be like, well, when do I get to see Freddy? We already know what he does. And we kind of already know who the grabber is. We're waiting to see the grabber, and it takes a while, but it's also because it's setting up the backstory.
But I would also argue if you show the grabber early, like right away in this, then there's nothing that's really like there's nothing that's really like gonna give you that climactic like wow, or that, you know what I mean, that big crescendo kind of element, like, whereas because you don't see him much and you're only learning about the things and kind of building this story and like you're marching towards the grabber in a lot of ways in the movie, and like, you're heading towards him, then you get this third act where it's like, but it's more than that. Like, it's like over half of the movie he's on screen a lot. And like that's my only thing is he's in this movie way more than he was in that first movie, and he doesn't do much of anything in the first movie. That's why I think it's just such a strange thing where here all these people with these criticisms for Black Phone 2, and I'm like, but you loved the first one? Like, I mean, dude, the grabber doesn't do anything in the first movie. You don't see him kill anybody. You don't see him do much of anything. The most you see of him is like kidnapping, you know, and like he's kind of ominously walking down the hall or sitting in the chair in the kitchen, like has a few creepy lines wearing the mask, but like, so like, I'm not saying that anybody's wrong. It's more of, it's such an interesting thing where it's like, I don't know, like people, it's like this short-term memory or whatever. People don't go back at, like, I almost feel like it should be a prerequisite almost to a sequel that you have to go back and watch the first one before you go see the new one.
Yeah.
Because I think too often we have like this amnesia almost and remember only the good parts of that first movie. Because so often when you go back and rewatch the first one, you're always like, wow, it really wasn't as good as I remembered it being, which is such an odd thing. It's like we have this, it's kind of like if you go on vacation and you forget, you know, the waiting in the lines, you forget, you know, you go to vacation to Disneyland with your kids, you know, you forget waiting in the lines, you forget the like waiting for your wife to get ready and, you know, in the morning to go to the park. And like all you end up remembering is your kids' shiny little faces and like how cute your daughter looked when she was eating that fucking giant chocolate banana, or you know what I mean? Like those are the things that you remember, and you cut out the stuff that, I don't know. You know what I'm talking about though?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think I had a problem with the movie overall. Just, you know, just getting to stuff a little quicker. Just, I don't know. Just, that's where I felt. I think other movies like Bring Her Back and stuff, I'm just like always being surprised left and right by something that's creepy or off, or, you know,
but we're also talking about a movie that's completely new. Like, oh, and I would not say like Black Phone. I don't know if it'll be in my top 10 at the end of the year, but I also think that I don't know if it's fair to compare it to originals, like you know what I mean, because it is a sequel. Right. So a lot of what, like, it's really hard for a sequel to be anywhere near on the level because you already know what the grabber is, you already know what it's capable of, you've already, you know what I mean, like you've seen the trailer, so it's not like you're even surprised at the changes that they made to his look or whatever. Yeah. Like you already whereas like Weapons, we didn't know anything about it. It's like the first time you see the, you know, the villain or whatever, you're like, whoa, what the fuck? Because like he, you know, or in Bring Her Back, the first time you see the kid with the fucking knife, like, you know, like you didn't know that was going to happen. So you're like, yeah. So it has much bigger of an impact. But I always like when I rank my movies at the end of the year, originals are always going to rank way higher than the sequel. Like I think Terrifier 2 was one of the few that of the last couple years or whatever, since I started doing like my top 10 each year, I think it was one of the few like sequels that made it into my top 10. But I think Terrifier 2 is, in my opinion, leaps and bounds better than the first movie. Not to say it's a perfect movie either, but like, yeah, you know, that's a rare situation where they made big improvements on that first.
It was definitely like way more cohesive. Like the first one almost felt like an anthology that was kind of pieced together to make a movie. Yeah. But yeah, it's
just
still,
the characters more fleshed out, and you actually have I mean, that first movie, there's like people talk shit all the time about, like, I wish DJ was still here because he hates the Terrifier movies, but like there is literally no characters, there is no plot in that first movie. And like, you know, you could have issues with the writing and whatever in the second one too, but you do have Sienna Shaw, like you do have some actual characters and an actual story arc. And that first movie, I mean, all you get is the two girls that are friends.
Yeah,
basically that's they're out on Halloween night.
it would have been an awesome short film if it was only like the pizza parlor scene.
Yeah.
But
it's funny because I mean it really was like it was mostly meant to be kind of a film reel for Damien Leone's special effects and things like that. A lot of ways it was just him trying to show what he was capable of. He did not ever expect it to, I mean, he had been wanting to do a full movie, but like, because he had the idea for Art the Clown, like, and then he was convinced to put Art in, the anthology one,
the Halloween one, Hallows Eve.
Yeah. All Hallows Eve. But like that, it's funny. You see what, like, even though David Howard Thornton has no dialogue as Art the Clown, it shows you what someone can do, just like the acting level, how much that can take a movie from here to here. Because that All Hallows Eve, if anything, it's got a better plot, better story. Like there's more to it. And yet, Art the Clown does not leap off of the screen in that movie. Whereas Terrifier, all it has is Art the Clown. But David Howard Thornton is so good as Art the Clown, that is all it needed to make that movie become like a cult hit, You
found out if he's going to be out at the stream thing on the Sunday the 2nd while we're there? Probably not.
I haven't heard.
Because he's in that movie, right? Have you seen Stream? I think you did a review on it, didn't you? Stream.
That's going to be there? Why is it going to be there?
It's playing Sunday, the next day after the Smodcastle event. They're doing the Blair Witch Project and then Stream. Yeah. And they're going to do the Q&A with the cast.
Oh, when you messaged me that, I thought you were saying they were doing like, I didn't realize you were talking about the movie Stream. I thought you were talking about they were doing a Blair Witch stream.
Oh, no.
So they're going to do like the Q&A stream of Blair Witch or something.
No, they're going to have cast and crew for Stream, but I don't know who's going to
be there. Okay. That's
I know
cool.
like Michael, is it Levy? Like the Fuzz on the Lens. Those guys are like from that area. I think Damien's probably from that area too.
I think
because New York and Jersey's all in the same,
they're all
distance.
Yeah, they're all
but
from.
I think isn't
Damien Leone's
like
from out there too, I believe.
Isn't David in like Burbank or something now?
I don't know. I know they may all be in now, but I know like that one time they were all in that New Jersey area, I believe. Like when they were making Terrifier and stuff, I think that was all shot out there or something. I don't know. But yeah, he's in Stream. He's one of the villains. He doesn't have any dialogue again. Yeah. I keep wondering if, and like it's got to just be that he doesn't want to do dialogue is all I can think of. Because like I keep waiting to see him do a role where he, has some dialogue and plays more than just like a mute character or whatever. But I mean, that's such a tough situation to be in because like they're at least going to take a break for a while of making Terrifier movies. And it's like, if you're David Howard Thornton, like how many roles can you get where you're just a mute character? Like,
right.
It makes you wonder, like, I don't know, but I mean, he was making a living before Terrifier. So maybe I don't know. It just makes me wonder why he hasn't tried to expand, because you could do, a masked killer, but just with some kind of dialogue, I think, or whatever. But he was also like, he was so good in Steam or is it Screamboat?
Screamboat.
Yeah, he was so good in that. Like that movie is a lot better than it has any right to be. Like it's super low budget, super trashy. You know, it's like all the movies that that group puts out. Like they just don't have any budget, and they're. But the difference with those and like the movies that are put out, like the Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, like that group of people that put out the spoof kind of bullshit movies, is that they don't take themselves too serious and they just have fun with their movies. Like they know what they are and they lean into that. And so you can have a good time, you know, cause Stream was the same way. Like, you know, you could just have fun with them. Or like, the mean one or green one or mean one or whatever.
The mean one. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like probably the worst of all of the movies that they've put out, but even still it was fun. And it didn't take itself too serious. But like that's my issue with all the Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey movies and like all the stuff that they've been putting out, the Pooniverse or whatever they call it. Dude, they're miserable. Like there's no fun in them at all. Like, did you see the Peter Pan one?
No.
Dude, it's like horrible. It's like horrible as in like it's well made. It's the best made of all of them. Like it actually feels like an actual movie. But it's just miserable, dude. It's like just a bunch of shitty, gross characters that are like mean and gross and like drug addicts and child molesters and just it's awful. And
I've been tempted to see some of those Popeye ones. The posters look really cool, but I don't know if the movies are anything like the poster. It's like
I don't know,
like the Sailor Man or the Slayer Man or something with
a like I don't know if any of those are attached to any of those groups or if those are just like one-offs.
Yeah, it's like part of those I don't know what they call them, but like the proprietary stuff has ended and now they're all touchable for, you know.
Yeah, I think it
was a trend for
about worn off.
Doing
yeah, it's about worn off. I said it. Everybody was like, "Yo, this is going to be the future of movies." Blah blah. I'm like, no, it's not.
Yeah,
that's not like it's a gimmick. It's like a TikTok trend. It's like TikTok trends happen so fast. I was thinking about this the other day when I was in Target and I looked over and I saw they had toys for Skibbity Toilet and they were in like a clearance thing. And I was thinking about how fast trends happen now, that whoever works at these companies, like they must be like on the phone 3 a.m. like calling people like, okay, make this toy tonight. We need these shipped out tonight. You know what I mean? Like we know the trend will be over in 3 days. So we need to try to capitalize, you know, because it's like not even possible to make stuff fast enough to keep up with these trends to like actually capitalize on them. Because like in this TikTok type of generation, like the 7-8, have you heard that whole meme thing? What is it, 79 or
I've got kids,
whatever it is. Yeah. And it's like this stuff happens so fast. By the time you even figure out what the hell it is, it's gone. And like these people are spending millions to make a Skibbity Toilet movie, and I'm like, by the time that movie is actually out, no one's gonna give a flying fuck about it.
Yeah,
like these people at these companies that put all this, like Disney especially, like seeing the amount of money they put into Tron, like right now they're losing a minimum of $200 million on Tron. That's a minimum. That's before, that has nothing to do with how much they spend on marketing or merchandising or any of that. And like I was in the theater last night and there's all these Tron popcorn buckets. Like, do you see the giant fucking motorcycle popcorn bucket? It's like $80. And like, it's cracking me up because at least at the Cinemarks, they have this whole rack and it's nothing but popcorn buckets that are like marked down now. And there's like all these Megan ones. These things were like $30, $40 when they came out and they're selling them for $5. And I was like, dude, you guys are going to end up having to like give these away. It's like you buy a ticket for whatever, you get a free Megan popcorn bucket. Because
did you see Tron?
Yeah. and it's cool. It's like a music video. But it's like, dude, there's I don't understand the people behind this shit. Like, I would never look at that and be like, oh yeah, we could spend $250 million to make that. We're going to make money off of that. Like, what? Like, who's thinking this? Like, where's the logic behind this? Like, I was watching the Dead Meat. He does like a news stream every day or every Monday. And they were talking about how, like, why not take that same $250 million and make 25 $10 million movies? Like, there's no way in hell you're not going to make money if you do that. Like, I don't understand it. It's like, yeah, I guess if you just get one of those big hits that makes like $2 billion, you know, like what's happening with the blue people movies, the what are they called? The
Avatar.
Yeah, like with the Avatar movies where they're making, they cost $1 billion to make like 2 movies or 3 movies or whatever, but each one is making like $2 billion. So like it's worth the risk. But I can kind of understand that when you're talking about James Cameron, who never seems to miss. Like, everything James Cameron makes always just makes a shitload of money. But there's so few filmmakers. Even Steven Spielberg loses money on movies at times. Like, I don't understand who are these people at these heads of these companies that are signing off to make a $250 million Tron movie. Like, did that last Tron movie make that much money?
Yeah, I haven't seen how much is
Tron
come
Legacy. Or no, this newest one is losing like insane. It's making nothing. Like, it made like 20 something million its first weekend, and that's the thing. That's what I'm talking about. Is when you're opening and you're making 200 or making like 20 something million, and that's a horrible opening weekend. Like, that's a problem. Like,
I mean, did we need another Tron movie?
That's what I'm asking. Like, did that last Tron Legacy, how much money, like, did it make money? Because, like, I didn't remember it making that much money. Yeah, see? Like, they spent $170 million on that last one, too. Like, did it make that much money? It must have. Otherwise, I don't know how they would have thought they should make another one. Trying to see how much this stuff always fascinates me, though, because I'm just like, in the world of horror, the movies they're all made for like $1 million, and they rarely lose money. Yeah, dude. They spent $172 million to make Tron Legacy. Not the one that just came out, but the one from 2010. One. And it made $400 million worldwide. So that means that movie lost a lot of money because like, that's not even breaking even, because it would have had to make almost $600 million to break even. So, like, it lost money. So, like, what was the thought process? My only thing is they must have, like, maybe they had already greenlit this one before they knew how much money that one was going to make. But that can't be, because that was 15 years ago.
Yeah.
It's just so bizarre. Like, why would you, when that movie didn't even break even, like, why would you think, oh, let's make another one? Especially in the world we're in right now, like since 2020, where, movies are like, we're not having blockbusters. Like, it's, like, we're not having $1 billion movies anymore. Like, it's not very, like, each year we're having lesser and lesser.
Yeah. I mean, it's understandable when you have something like iconic Barbie, it's never really been done before.
Well, yeah, but even that, nobody thought it was going to make anywhere, because that movie didn't cost.
I would have thought it was a joke, but then it's like, wow, it was
also like a good movie. I think when a movie makes a lot of money now, it's got to be two things. It's got to be something that is marketable, like a Barbie, right? That you're going to get all the little girls and you're going to be able to make a bunch of toys. Like, it's marketable, right? But then also a good movie. So like, if you have that combination of both those things, like, that's what the movies that make a lot of money now. But I mean, I don't know, man. Like, it's such a weird time.
Yeah, you get
the
back
movies
into
that
that
are big winners are.
You get back into that discussion of like, take movies like Tron, where you gave them almost 200 million, and like give $1 million to like a bunch of filmmakers and let them make a movie. Think of how much great stuff we'd have, you know, like Terrifiers and Talk to Me's, and
that's what they're saying.
That.
You could at least just simply take 10 million and spread it between 25 movies.
Yeah.
You know, much less if we were to take 1 million and spread it between 250 movies. But like, even if you know, like, because I'm for $40 million budgets. Those seem to be the movies where it's worth the risk. Anything above 40 is when I start going, I don't know. There's a big risk involved in that. Even on IP stuff, you know, I mean, I don't know. There's some things that like it's like, of course, mind, or what was, what's it called? The game, Mine, what is that really popular video game that had a movie this year? Mine.
Fuck, dude. You're talking about the one where they went,
like, the stupid game
kept replaying every time they die. Was that the one?
No. I'm talking about the big blockbuster this year, the Mind. Damn it! It's where you go. It's a stupid game where you go around building shit.
Minecraft.
Yeah, Minecraft.
I thought you were saying Mind, like Mindhunter or something, but Minecraft.
Yeah, like something like that makes sense. No matter how much money you spend to make that, I'd be fine with, because it's like, anybody with half a brain cell knows that is like the most popular fucking thing there is on planet Earth for kids, pretty much. Like, for, you know, 12-year-olds especially, like the age that has the most, you know, like they're able to get the money to go see it, or get parents to take them to go see it. Like, things like that. Same with Barbie. Like, that stuff makes sense. But like Tron, like, who the fuck's clamoring for a Tron? Like, I think it's bad enough when Marvel or DC spends all this money, but it's even more dumb when you spend for Tron.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of weird seeing Jared Leto in his like,
that's the other
Cyber Jesus outfit at the premiere holding a disc,
but that's the other thing, I think. And I don't think when they started the production, so that's part of the problem with the movie, is like movies like that, is because in reality, it's years and years and years in production. It's like from the time that they greenlit to write a script, and then, they cast it, and it's such a long span of time. And so like a lot of that kind of stuff was greenlit in 2020 or 2021. So Jared Leto wasn't thought of the way he is now. And so that's a big part of why nobody wanted to go see that movie too, is like, everybody is just waiting for like some big story to drop with Jared Leto, that he's like Satan himself. Like, we all know everybody knows that there's something not right about the guy. And like, if you look at pictures of his island and all that, it's very creepy. So it's like everybody's just waiting to hear, that he's the next, like sex trafficking, whatever, or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, and you could see that easy with like 30 Seconds to Mars and little groupie fans and stuff, underage. Totally would have access if he was in that world.
Yeah, 6 and 7. I have watched so many videos trying to explain what the fuck 6 and 7 is, And the best I've come up with is that it's kind of not anything. It's kind of like it's kind of like back in the day when, do you remember when Tom Green had his show and there was a bunch of people from 4chan calling in and like harassing him, and there would be like the barrel roll guy, or like there would be the people like that on that would call in with Howard Stern too, or on Howard Stern's behalf, where they'd call these different news shows and like, you know, like the whole fucker, what is it, fucker in the pussy or whatever, you know what I mean? They would call and they would just say these fucked up things just to,
yeah.
It's one of those where it's like, it doesn't really mean anything. It's kind of nonsensical. Cause it's like the origins of it are a line from a song like that a rapper wrote, but like nobody seems to really know what he meant by that line. God, this patch is driving me crazy. It just keeps writing up. And like it probably doesn't even look like it's moving, but it feels like it just slightly gets underneath the eye and shoves the eye, bugging the shit out of me. But if I don't wear it, it's not going to get stretched out. But my other one is like irritating my eye. I watch everything on vid stream sites. Dude, Diddy, stop bragging about pirating shit. It's not something to brag about. Like what you do in your own time, like whatever, dude. But you know, I don't think you should be doing that. But it's definitely not something to be bragging about. Like you're literally stealing artist content
that's already being stolen.
But it's like whatever, dude. I'm not telling you, you know, you're an adult, you do what you do, but I'm just saying it's not something to brag about. It's like, yeah, I don't ever pay for cigarettes. I just steal them from the gas station. Like, you know what I mean? You don't brag about it. Let's see. I am a teacher of 10 and 11-year-olds, and if I never hear 6, 7 again, it'll be too soon. I can only imagine.
Yeah.
Like I taught kids art class for in the afternoons for a year or two. And like those trends, like I was talking about TikTok trends, like it's insane. It would be like every week there'd be some new thing and I never understood what the hell they were talking about. You just kind of shrug and be like, okay. But like some of these videos, dude, are insane. Because it's one thing when it's kids, but I'm seeing like these college people running around going 6'7", 6'7", and they do the whole, like the whole ball sack thing. I'm like I really don't think they have any idea what it means either.
No.
So your kid turns 19 today?
Yep.
What the fuck, dude?
Yeah. Crazy. 25 years ago we were in a band, and then 19 years ago my son was born.
Well, yeah, because your
where'd the time go?
She's how old now? What, 26?
25.
25?
Yep.
Damn, dude.
She was born like, right before we started the band.
Yeah. Because like Jareth is 31.
Damn.
Yeah. So I was talking to him the other day and I was like, I thought I didn't even realize he was 30 yet. And he's like, Dad, I'm like 31, dude. I was like, ah. No. It just sounds so old. Oh, have you seen Shelby Oaks yet?
No.
You haven't seen it?
Is that on
that's
like
the
direct to streaming now, or
no? It's in theaters.
I haven't seen it even listed. Is it coming out Thursday? Tomorrow?
What? Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. It's only Wednesday. My bad. I forgot.
You seem to watch everything before everyone anyway.
No, I do sometimes, but I don't try to. But like if I'm invited, then I'll go. But I don't try to get early screenings. Most of the time, it's annoying. It's not worth it.
You used to do it more in the past.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
but it's just not worth it. Like I could get in to see just about anything I want early, but then it's stupid. You got to like go at least you got to go kind of early a lot of times, and like you get stupid shitty seats, and it's a bitch sometimes to get Like, it just depends. Sometimes it's super smooth. Like, whenever A24 invites me to something, I'm always there because they treat the press like really, really good. Like, they rope off all the center of the theater and you get one of those spots. Whereas, like, when I went to see Halloween Ends, it was horrible. It was in the most rundown, shitty movie theater in town. Like, it was at the Regal on Olympus Point right before they basically closed it down. And it was like the only theater that I thought even that I didn't even know anywhere had anymore, the like bucket seats where they're like the hard bucket like type of seats with no leg stuff. And like, that's how I saw Halloween Ends. So like, it's all like, it's just all relative, depends on. And so a lot of times it's just not worth it. I'd rather just pay the, $10 or whatever and go see it.
Yeah.
When everybody else can. But Shelby Oaks was the secret screening this week. And that's why I was thinking it was already out, because I forgot, because lots of people already went and saw it on Monday because it was like the secret screening thing. But I forgot that it was a secret screening. Like, I had a ticket, but I was like, I've already seen it and I was not feeling good. So I ended up not going. I didn't I'm like, the ticket still will show as a sold ticket. But
yeah,
I'm seeing if anybody in the chat has seen it because someone mentioned it. I really hope people like it, man. Like, I never can tell, because like, I thought people were gonna be like, I thought Black Phone 2 was gonna do really well. I thought people were gonna really, really, like, for the most part, be big fans of it, and like most. It's I can't say most. It's a very mixed reaction, I think, from what I've been seeing of it. People are just hard to please.
Yeah.
That's why I don't want to make a movie. Like, I don't know if I was talking to you or who I was talking to about this, but like, I'd much rather be like a film, like a horror movie champion. Where I help promote movies, I help bring attention, can't say promote, but like help bring attention to good movies and, and like maybe eventually produce some stuff, but like stuff that I don't really have skin in the game because, yeah, I mean, it's doing okay. I mean, it's got a 73% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is whatever, but it's got an 84% critic. So, that's, or not critic, an 84% fan rating. So that's pretty good.
But you said you do want to die in a movie, right?
Yeah. But then I'd be in a movie. I'd do a cameo in a movie or whatever. I'm just saying, as far as like making a movie, like directing or being really like hands-on in it, because that would just break my heart to watch the whole world like shit on my movie. Especially if it's like a bigger deal, like Shelby Oaks, dude. Chris Stuckman has got so much at stake with this. Like, I just get stressed out even thinking about it just for him, because like, I saw it like over a month ago, right? Yeah, like, I think it was 5 weeks ago now that I saw it. And since then, and even before then, he had already been traveling all over the country to these different screenings, because he was doing screenings for different YouTubers, doing screenings for people that were backers of the movie, like screeners for, and so he was traveling to all over presenting his movie and getting like different reactions from audiences all over the country. And so when I was talking to him, like, he'd already been on that tour of doing that kind of thing for a couple of weeks. And to think about now that he's since then has not stopped, constantly going to different film festivals and different events like that, showing that movie in front of different audiences. And the movie still isn't even out. It's finally out publicly this week. And it's like, I couldn't imagine the feeling of that, of like almost like slow torture for like 2 months of not really knowing what the wide audience of people are going to think of your movie.
Yeah. It's always different when you're doing like a focus group where people are there, they know you're there as the filmmaker, and
Yeah.
it might even be a lot of local friends and crew and stuff, but like those always go awesome. It's like, that was the best ever. And even if it's like a comedy or something, you get all the laughs and everything's great, but then you just don't know how the real world audience, like you said, is going to be. And I can't imagine, like, did he edit that movie himself?
Yep. He
So like,
produced it, edited
he's
it, directed
already
it. I
he's
mean, he
already
did have Mike
desensitized.
Flanagan.
True.
He did have Mike Flanagan helping him edit it, and like,
yeah.
but
so
still,
that
like,
helps.
but
he's so desensitized to it already, to have to even watch it all those times is probably hard for him. He's probably self-critical. Should have done this, could have done that, but like, and it's not even out now.
I would think at this point he was probably completely let that element go, because you can't be around it that much and see it that much. Like, you would have to, by this point, like, separate yourself from it, and like, you're not changing anything. It is what it is. Like, it's completely locked in, and this is what it is, almost like its own entity at this point. Like, not even the thing you've made. Like, I could almost guarantee that in his mind, Shelby Oaks is Shelby Oaks. It's like, you made this, but there is almost like an out of body element to it, where it's like,
because it is crazy how last second you can change stuff. But now that it's wide release, like, they've already got it loaded in the projectors at Regal. It's playing tomorrow for everyone. So,
well, they were changing it all the way up until the Fantastic Fest screening, because there were screenings of it for a lot of people for a while that didn't have a lot of the added scenes. The Fantastic Fest screenings, at least from what I have been told, were the first time anyone had seen that movie done, like fully done, because basically, Neon was like, hey, if we could throw another $1 million or so your way, is there anything else you would like to do, like in a perfect world, and there were some scenes and things that he wanted to do, especially to do with some special effect elements towards the end of the movie, that, there's just no way in the budget they had you could do that kind of stuff. And it was like, ideally, I would like to be able to make some of this and do some of these things, and like, so they made that happen. But in order to do that, they were having to kind of like finish up those scenes with special effects and things like that all the way up until right before Fantastic Fest. But I know that when Cody Leach saw it the week before in New York, it was still the same. He didn't say that he saw any changes. So it must have not been like it had to have been done before Fantastic Fest, at least a little bit before. But either way, like, he was, even when I was talking to Chris, he even was saying to me how this was like a kind of almost, I forget how he worded it, but it was almost like this was a bit of a relief for him, because this was the first time really that he was showing it in front of people that weren't invested in the film. Because prior to that, it was like people that were literally backers, like for the GoFundMe, and producers on the movie, and, and people that acted in it, or friends and family, or, people with Neon. It was always people that had skin in the game to a certain extent. This was like Fantastic Fest. Like, this is what we all do for a living, is like talk about movies, and most of them are critics. So they're going to say negative shit. And like, that's what's really funny to me, though, because I hear so many people saying, oh, you guys just liked it because, it's Chris Stuckman and blah, blah. And I'm like, did you guys not watch the reviews that were coming out of Fantastic Fest? Because I didn't shred that many movies, but like, some people were shredding a lot of the movies there. So it's not like just because the filmmakers are in the theater with us, or just because we were interacting with these people, that we weren't giving our critiques or our opinions of these movies. Because like, there wasn't a movie that we didn't have interaction. Like, there wasn't a single movie I saw that I didn't have at least some interaction with somebody involved with the movie. like that's just the nature of that type of event, where it's like, you're literally talking to someone and you find out, oh, you acted in so-and-so movie, or oh, you produced so-and-so movie. Like it's a couple hundred people, but it's like all those people are involved in the industry. So it's like, and especially if you're there as press, because you're going to the parties or in the different gatherings and things like that are only industry people. Like you can't buy tickets to it, kind of thing. And so, like, I don't know Chris Stuckman personally, and most of none of the YouTubers, to be honest, actually know him personally. Like, we root for him because he's another YouTuber, and so like we would like to see him do successful. But like, I don't think anybody is any more like rooting for him any more than we are the Philippou brothers, or Curry Barker, or any other YouTubers that are making movies. Like, there's a lot of YouTubers out there that are, or creators for that matter, that are making, stuff now. It's just what's happening. So I don't know. I think most people are going to like it. I think it's going to probably be kind of along the lines of the reactions for Black Phone 2, where it's going to be like, yeah, it was good. You know what I mean? That kind of reaction overall, not like, oh my God, it's one of the best of the year, or holy shit, that's fucking insane. Like, I don't think that's going to be the reaction of people, but I also don't think that that's even kind of movie. Like, I told this to Chris, that one of the things I was surprised is how non-artsy it is. Like, it doesn't, like, yeah, it's neon, and yeah, it's an indie movie, but it kind of doesn't feel, it feels more like a Blumhouse a little bit. Like, it feels more like a bigger budget horror movie that's like a little more, I don't know what the right term is, like, because it's not to say that it's not like it's not neutered or anything like that, but it doesn't feel super artsy. Like, it doesn't have that, like, it doesn't take giant swings, like it's not one of those, like, that the ending is so bleak that you're like left devastated kind of thing. Like a lot of art house movies, it doesn't feel like that. And I was kind of expecting it to be a more of an indie kind of feeling movie, but instead it's more like, it feels like it should be in theaters. It feels like a bigger budget horror movie. So,
well, I don't have any expectations going into it, so I don't really know much of his background. I know what he does, and I know why he would want to make a movie and be inspired to do it and all that. But as far as I know, he hasn't done anything like that before. Like, I don't think he's done short films or been,
he did shorts.
Has he?
Yeah, but nothing that's really gotten like any kind of real, like, they're on YouTube, but like nothing that's really had like any. It wasn't like he was able to like use, like, he made shorts as like to be a filmmaker. Like, it was more like him and his friends making shit. Like, he's been making small things like literally since he was a kid. But most of his stuff, actually all of his stuff, was either comedic or action kind of thing. Mostly comedic. Like the shorts movies that I've seen him do the last, like couple, like since 2020 or whatever, they were like comedic type of, kind of like what's that term where it's like all in like one apartment where the like a one-man show almost. But more like a one-man show almost, where it's almost like a skit like feeling type of deal. It was more of that kind of feeling kind of thing, but definitely nothing horror. The only horror type of things he's done, and actually what the inspiration behind this is him and his wife had been making, because every year for Halloween he does his, like, he reviews movies throughout the month, and they do like, does like little horror skits, or he used to, like, these little horror skits that kind of went along with the review, and they weren't so much like, they weren't all like an acted out kind of thing. A lot of it was more of ambiance and like creepy footage, and like not like a full story, but there was like a little stuff here and there. But but him and his wife were driving back from shooting one or making one or something like that. And that's where the idea for Shelby Oaks came from. I forget what exactly, but they were having a conversation around what they had just shot. And he was like, what if we, and it originally was going to be all found footage. And then it was like, as money kind of started coming in a little bit and they started realizing they were going to have more of a budget, that's when he started to think, hey, and so that's the coolest thing about it. I think that makes it the most unique feeling is that there's like a good chunk, like the first 15 minutes or so, that's all found footage, kind of like mockumentary found footage sort of thing, where it's footage from YouTube and footage from like local news programs and things like that are kind of like talking about like stuff to do like this. These are some of the things they gave us at Fantastic Fest. Like, so there's a lot of this kind of thing where people are handing these out and like, it becomes this whole viral kind of thing of like what happened to Riley Brennan, right? And because she was like a famous YouTuber, which it's all fiction, but like in the world of the movie, she was a famous YouTuber, and she goes missing. Her and her crew of ghost hunters, they basically go missing, and so it becomes this viral thing of like what happened to her. And so like that's how the movie is set up, with all this like found footage type of feeling, and then it transitions into like a regular movie, like a regular shot movie. And I like that. I haven't really seen a movie do that in that way. Like that to me was the most unique thing about the movie. Like besides that, it's just a fun kind of creepy horror movie, like popcorn kind of horror movie.
Yeah.
But anyway,
yeah,
I liked it. I thought it was cool.
I'm anxious for you to check out Infernal next week. So
I know, man. I'm actually really excited to see it. Those were the first times I've even seen any images.
Oh, the trailer thing, or
no, the IMDb. I've never watched the trailer or anything for it.
Or yeah, I guess
because you kept telling me, "Well, wait until it's done," because I have, like this, because you were like saying that the only stuff out there was the stuff that wasn't really what you had done, so it doesn't really feel exactly the same.
And like I said, it was just to kind of like get some more backers for finishing the Indiegogo funding. But yeah,
hopefully we'll get to meet Kevin Smith. Like hopefully
that would be awesome.
He's there. I would think he'd be able to.
I mean, I hope he's doing the Q&A and all that stuff. But if not, still be cool.
I mean,
he shows up.
I know that he's, dude. I mean, he shows up just to screenings of shit. Because like I have friends that go to the Smodge Castle, different things, and like he does he showed the what's it called, the Batman, and is it Batman and Robin, or it's one of the Batmans where there's like it's like this Snyder cut sort of thing. I forget the director's name, but like, and he's the only person that owns the print of that version of that Batman, and like he's shown it there, and like there was the whole thing, people weren't sure if he was going to get sued for showing it, and he was just like, I don't care. Like I want people to see it. So, and I have the print, so I'm gonna fucking play it. But like he shows up for just screenings of stuff, not just the film festivals. So
I hope that because it's his first horror film festival at Smod Castle that he'll be there.
That's what I would think
he would. I mean, it's his thing, so you'd think he'd be there.
Yeah. I think he's, like I was saying though, I think he's at like a lot of the stuff, not just, it's not like a rare thing that he shows up to. Like, from what I know, like this is kind of like his office. Like it's, like the reason he bought it is because it was the theater he grew up in, and he has like an office in there, and he hangs out there like quite a bit. It's like he lives like close by, and like from what I know. So hopefully, because that'd be cool. Like I don't care if we meet him or not, it would still be cool to see him like presenting your movie and shit.
Yeah, and the awards or something. That would be awesome.
Yep. Anyway, I think we should wrap. But to all you guys out there, I know we didn't talk to you guys a whole lot, but we appreciate you guys hanging with us. And we will 100% let you guys know how the event goes and stuff. We're gonna try to like film a vlog type of thing, at least to a certain extent, document at least. I don't want to say vlog because I don't like to commit to shit because who knows how things are going to be. But we definitely want to try to document the best we can, like videos, pictures, and stuff like that. And like I said before DJ left, like try to have Josh on again, especially when the movie is, when it's more available for all you guys to be able to see it and stuff.
Yeah, I really hope that something blows up for Steve Bridges or something, and it may very well be the only movie he got to finish that he'll be able to people to have watch out there, and his kids will get to watch it for the rest of their lives and see him do something. And it's at least special that he got to finish that.
I know
he
that's
had a bunch of things in the works that he didn't get to complete, and so we're grateful that we had him and got to meet him, and it's going to be an interesting, week while we're there. And I brought some little pins that I'm going to pass out to some of the crew and stuff with his picture in memory of. And
oh, that's cool.
But yeah, it'll be tough, but
man, you just never know. Like we've both lost a number, like especially you've lost a number of friends this year, and I've lost a few people I care about as well this year. It's just crazy, man. Like no days are guaranteed. Like,
Yep. I mean, you're just sitting on your couch watching TV.
He was like way younger than either of us.
And don't wake up. That's how it was. Yep. He just didn't wake up the next morning and on the living room couch. So, and that could be any of us, Yep.
That's why I just assume I'm going to die any day. So I just kind of like, I never, like, I'm not, and I've really never been someone that plans for the future or has these big dreams and goals and things or whatever, because I'm like, I just assume I'm not going to, like, that's why I just try to get as much done. Like I have this weird thing where every video I try to hurry up and get it done and posted and scheduled to release as fast as I can, because I always worry that there'll be a video out there that I finished but didn't hit schedule, and so it just sits there and no one ever sees it. And that's just a stupid YouTube video. Like, it's a stupid YouTube video. These mean nothing, right? But like, it's still my work. It's something that I take pride in and I care about, and I try to always make the best thing I can. And that's just how I look at life. Like, I always want to make as much work and much art, as much whatever it is that I'm working on as I possibly can, and get it out there. I don't want to leave, like, I guess the best way to put it is I don't want to leave anything on the back burner, like if there was something I could have done today, I want to get it done. Like, I don't like the idea of thinking, oh, I could have gotten this, because it's not even just dying. It's like even just being in bad health, because like in 2020, man, like I was so sick, I could barely do anything. And I had been doing a lot of art, making paintings and sculptures and all that stuff up till 2020. And then all of a sudden I could barely get out of bed. And that's what I ended up making this channel. But you just never know when you're going to get in a position like where you're maybe still alive, but are unable to really do much. Like, it isn't just as simple as, oh, you're dying. It's like, I don't know, man. You just should always take advantage. Just like they say, don't, like, what's that? The term, like, don't go to bed angry. Like when you're in a relationship, they always say, like, never go to bed angry. Like, always try to make peace with your wife before you go to bed. And it's the same kind of thing with work or whatever it is that you try to do. Like, just, don't wait don't wait till tomorrow to do what you could do today.
Yep.
So.
All right, brother. Well, looking forward to the trip.
Yep. So
thanks for having me on.
We need to get figured out soon, like our itinerary sort of thing. Like, what time we're meeting at the airport and all that kind of thing. So,
Yeah,
it's
a
cool.
early,
I was talking to
early trip.
I know, but I was talking to Carol Ann Blasco, the bass player of Rob Zombie. I was talking to her about our trip, and she was saying that we have to, at least for a little bit, see the nightlife because we're going to be in New York on Halloween night.
True.
And she's like, you got to at least go out and at least for a tiny bit see what
I
it's
didn't
like.
think about that. I just was
Neither
like,
had I.
yeah, it's just
I
the
didn't
night
think about it at
fly
all.
out, but it's
Yep,
Halloween.
I didn't think about it at all until I talked to her, and she was like, you know, because we're going to be there like, what was it, like 8:00 at night or something like that? You were saying 8 or 9?
Yeah. Well,
and she's like, the night will still be going for a while. So
originally I had an invite to Phil Anselmo's Halloween party in New Orleans, but now I can't be in New Orleans. Too bad. Maybe we could go there and somehow get back to New Jersey, but probably not. Yeah.
I mean, if we were like made of money, yeah, because we could just take a flight. But
yeah, the Choppa.
How did you get that invite? Where's that from?
Through Sky Elabar is on Phil's record label.
Oh, okay.
His band Trick is on House Core Records. So
man, I would honestly, I don't know if I would want to go to that. Everything I know about Phil's crew, they're like dirty. Like, do you remember when we played with I Hate God?
Yeah.
That's the kind of people he hangs around with.
I hope they're sober now. It's been a rough one.
I'm just saying, like, oh no, those guys are dead. Like, a couple of the dudes that we played with that band are like have died like a while ago. Like, I know, I think at least 2 of the members of the original I Hate God have passed now. But like, dude, those guys were like jonesing for drugs bad. I remember, I mean, we're in the middle of nowhere and they were just like, dude, like asking me, I'm like, I don't fucking know. Like, I don't do anything. Do I look like a tweaker? Like, I don't know. But yeah, that was like one of the most tweaked out shows we ever played. Like, everybody seemed like they were a tweaker at that show.
Yeah.
We played some crazy shows, man.
All right, brother. Well, I'm off to the birthday party.
All right, man. Have fun.
We'll talk soon.
All right, later.
Later.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. I will see you all next Wednesday. Yeah, I should be back from the trip by Wednesday. Or I'll definitely see you next Wednesday. It's Wednesday after that. I might not. I don't know. I got to look at my calendar. Everything is all screwy. Yes, I'll definitely be here next Wednesday. And I have a special video coming out next Wednesday as well, where I am, I made a video with another YouTuber that I know a lot of you guys are fans of. So stay tuned. It'll be released on the channel next Wednesday. But yeah, anyway, thank you so much for hanging out. I will talk to you guys later.